Hello, I'm Jim Dabney of the University of Houston Clear Lake. I'll be presenting our paper on implementation of a stochastic timeline validation tool integrated with R2U2. And my co-authors on this work, all of whom contributed a lot, are Mickey Weitzer of NASA Johnson Space Center, Jeremy Frank of NASA Ames, Pavan Rajgopal, Snigdha Palomari, and Sunny Thakar of Kaki, Chris Poland and Hemant Karola of Amentum, and Andrew Albright of Metix. There's an overview of our presentation. I'll give a background on the Gateway Vehicle System Manager autonomy, talk about the timelines and mission databases, and then I'll discuss how we achieve the timeline modeling, incorporating efficient probability density functions to generate Monte Carlo trials and traceability metadata, and then also automatically generates assumed guarantee contracts to validate each of those the iterations of this Monte Carlo trial with R2U2, the runtime model checking system from Iowa State. And then I'll talk about lessons learned in future work. So the Gateway is a space station that it's part of the Artemis program, and it'll be in cislunar near rectilinear halo orbit. It will be built with a gradual buildup of modules initially with a co-manifested vehicle consisting of a habitation and logistics outpost and the power and propulsion elements. Then there'll be a sustaining phase where additional modules are added, including the International Habitation Module, the airlock, and then a variety of visiting vehicles, including the Orion spacecraft. The Gateway Vehicle System Manager consists of four main functions: a mission and timeline, resource manager, fault manager, and then vehicle control. The vehicle system manager coordinates the module functions of all of the modules that comprise the spacecraft. And the vehicle system manager can operate everywhere from fully autonomous to no autonomy at all, depending on the crewing status and the degree of ground control at any time. And that autonomy can be adjusted as needed throughout the mission. The operation of the vehicle system manager is done via a timeline that consists of a sequence of tasks to accomplish mission objectives, and each of the tasks executes at a particular time. The timeline can run for extended time periods. We're looking generally at approximately 2 weeks. So each task on the timeline can either be a simple tasks that just does one thing at a specified time and for a specified duration, or it can be compound tasks that are called TREX procedures that can contain branching, event triggers, and also deal with uncertainty. A complete timeline consists of many tasks that operate some in parallel, some sequentially, and so a timeline can be viewed as a complex state machine with many branches and parallel activities. The gateway timelines will be created by planners on the ground, then uplinked to the spacecraft, and then executed either autonomously or semi-autonomously as needed for the particular situation. We looked at several alternatives for validating the timelines. One, because we have a complex state machine, it would be possible to validate timelines using a model checking environment such as TLA Plus with the PlusCal model checker. And that would permit complete coverage of the state space, but there are some significant problems. First, it would require a tool to convert a timeline into the state machine model, which would be a very difficult process. And the timeline, the event model that we would generate, this complex state machine, would be very vulnerable to the state space expansion due to the complexity and the duration of the timelines. So it would be very difficult to compute that model. We also looked at direct simulation using the Monte Carlo approach, using the actual flight software test facility. This would give us excellent fidelity, but the simulations run at near real time, so it would take either a very long time to do a reasonable number of Monte Carlo trials or many computers operating in parallel. So that's feasible, but not something that we have the resources to do. So the other approach that we considered was modeling the execution of the timeline using a simulation based on the techniques of discrete event simulation. And that gives us the capability to execute the timelines very rapidly, and because it only steps forward in finite time steps. However, it does require models of all the tasks and the TREX procedure, and it's the approach that we decided to use. And so we have developed techniques to achieve that the implementation of those procedures to model each of the tasks on the timeline. So this is an overview of the structure of the timeline. The inputs on the left are the input timeline from the mission planners, a mission database, and a library of probability density functions associated with all of the uncertain events in the tasks, a set of initial conditions, and then a library of assumed guarantee contracts which will be sent to the runtime model checker R2U2 along with the timeline in order to achieve the validation. And then on the right is the execution of that model. They use a Monte Carlo approach, which produces an event list, which is a sequence of discrete events that take place arranged sequentially. That's transferred to the R2U2 system along with the assumed guarantee contracts, and then that R2U2 model checks that, produces a stream of verdicts, and then there's a process to correlate the verdicts with the timeline and generate reports. The mission databases contain a variety of data needed to operate the vehicle system manager, including definitions of all of the tasks, a large set of constraints, and initial conditions that'll be needed for the simulation to state where the particular timeline begins. The library of probability density functions is one of the more important parts of this project. And so we can view that the timeline as a set of tasks, and each task can be modeled as a sequence of events. So the start times and durations can be modeled as random variables with defined probability density functions. Similarly, we can model resource consumption, command failures, and so forth, also as random variables with defined probability density functions. And then we can tailor the probability density function to the execution of the Monte Carlo models used to generate the event list. We've devised the PDFs as a class that consists of a type, a set of parameters depending on the kind of probability density function, and then additional points that are the list of tuples that contains the value and probability. And that allows us to handle edge cases and points of interest in the space of each of those random variables. The timeline is then the probability density functions is then converted into a lookup table that allows rapid evaluation of the probability density function for each of the Monte Carlo trials. And then there's also a method that goes with this class to populate the lookup table from the type and the parameters and the additional points. And then a method to return a single random value from the lookup table for each trial. The PDFs that are edited or can be edited with a graphical user interface, and this is an example for one kind of a probability density function. There's a name associated with each one, a type of distribution, the set of parameters that are associated with that distribution, and that of course depends both on the number of them and the values on the particular distribution, and then additional points as needed for the edge cases, corner conditions, and other points of interest. So this is an example probability density function where this is a random variable that varies with respect to some x, and then we convert that probability density function into a set of bins. Then of course the sum of the areas of the bins is 1, as shown there, and then we can add to that that set of bins, a set of discrete probabilities, and then we renormalize that so that the result is a complete set of probabilities that add to 1. We generate, once we have the probability functions generated and we have the other inputs, then the tool generates a simulation model, which is a class populated for a specific timeline. And this is streamlined to permit the rapid evaluation of each Monte Carlo trial to allow us to have a whole lot of Monte Carlo trials. So this is the flow of the stochastic validation process. Each iteration of the Monte Carlo, or each Monte Carlo trial, produces an event list that covers the duration of the timeline. And then that event list is converted. There's a front end that we developed with Iowa State to convert that event list into a telemetry stream that's suitable for R2U2, because R2U2 is based, its operation is based on receiving a telemetry stream uniform in time steps. And then R2U2, using the contracts that were automatically generated and the event list for a single Monte Carlo trial, that's evaluated using the R2U2 engine, and then a verdict stream results from the R2U2 evaluation, and then that verdict stream is correlated with the timeline, so it's possible for each of the verdicts to correlate the verdict with the timeline task that caused the verdict to end up being created. And so then there's a report that displays the results. The event list data structure is, again, one event list is produced for each Monte Carlo trial, and it's a sequence of time-tagged events sorted by time of occurrence. And so we're stepping in evaluating that by event rather than by time. On a situation such as evaluated timeline, if we were to go for 2 weeks, there would be many millions of time steps, but only a few of those, relatively few, have something happening. So what we do using the discrete event approach is every step in the simulation is something happens. But because of that, the event list is non-uniform in time, and therefore that's why we need the stream converter front end for R2U2. And the event list also includes metadata that permits that backtracing to the task, so that we can know when there's a failure, a verdict, that what was the task that it's associated with. The stream conversion from R2U2 is, as I said earlier, is designed to deal with the fact that we're producing an event list. It's non-uniform in time, and R2U2 needs a telemetry stream with uniform time steps. So the Iowa State worked with us to develop an interface to convert our event list into a compatible telemetry stream, and then that we can use that with the assumed guarantee contracts. Iowa State also implemented a proof to show that the telemetry stream that is generated is compatible with the event list. Next, we need to report on the stream of verdicts from R2U2, because each of the timeline can result in thousands of verdicts, and we may be doing thousands of trials. So there's going to be a whole lot of them. Only a few of them are going to be of interest. And so we've developed with Iowa State reporting tools that can find rapidly where an event in the verdict stream, what event in the verdict stream is correlated with any verdict failures, and also trace those back to the specific timeline task that resulted in the event in the first place. We could also, the reporting tools allow us to display trends, clusters of failures, and visually isolate failures. So that's what we have to present with the lessons learned in future work. First of all, we have found that the efficient generation of the Monte Carlo trials is feasible, and it's working very well. That we also found a nice technique to automatically generate assumed guaranteed contracts from the set of tasks in a rule base. To interface that with the R2U2 validation was also successful due to the close cooperation with the Iowa State research team and the embedding of the appropriate metadata into the event lists. And so we're working now on improving the results visualization tools to facilitate rapid interpretation of the results. So that concludes our presentations. You're welcome to contact me or any of my co-authors via email if you have questions, and we'd be happy to discuss that with you. Thanks for your attention to our presentation.